and we're actually bringing out some truths. Peel back the layers of all this fluff.
Shining the light on this industry as a whole. Maybe you should stay away from it. Real Estate Raw and Uncut, episode 176. I am Tim Bray. This is Robert Ruth.
Hello. We're here to talk about real estate.
Are you sure? Do we really
and dispel some of the myths around the real estate market.
You sure?
Yep, that's what they say.
So you wrote an article for us that did pretty well, and that was at the beginning of the year or mid-year, and it was called "The 5 Pillars of Today's Housing Market."
Right.
What was that about? And were you
It's called the
correct?
5 Pillars of the Hunt. No. So I believe that there were 5 factors that were leading and supporting the market that we're experiencing right now in the United States. And those 5 factors were the presence of millennial buyers, really historically low inventory levels, extremely low mortgage rates, full employment in the United States, and price appreciation. And those are the 5 pillars holding the structure in place.
So 2 of those are really tied together, which are low inventory levels and price appreciation.
So for the people that aren't fully aware, NAR says that the correct inventory level is how many months of inventory?
6, which is neutral.
Okay, so what that means is that if no other houses came on the market, at the current rate of sale, it would take 6 months to clear the inventory.
Right, so that's, again, neither buyers or sellers are in control at a 6-month level. Currently, we're at a 4-month level across the board. Now, I have a serious problem with that because each individual town or area is broken up into $100,000 increments, and you may have the $200,000 to $300,000 range that is at a 4-month level, and then a $1.2 to $1.5 million range, which is, 64 months, and average everything together.
And the rate of sale at the low end is
much
extremely
faster.
fast,
Right?
And it takes forever to sell a big house right now.
So less than 6 months of inventory is a seller's market.
Okay, so in a seller's market, what you have is the presence of less ability
Inventory.
to negotiate, less inventory. Sellers hold all the cards. In some markets, like a Boston, you have the presence of bidding wars on
Absolutely.
properties. The seller holds all the cards.
That's right. So when you have a low inventory like we have right now, especially in what they deem to be the off market, we are seeing prices appreciate faster than they typically have, but we feel that that's due to low inventory.
Right. So I read an article this week said actually Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac raised the loan limits, and FHA has raised their loan limits, and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac raised their conforming loan limits by 6.8% in dollars, which is about what the average rate of home price appreciation has been in the United States this year.
So probably the front end and the back end ratios have gone up as well. I'm
Absolutely,
guessing.
absolutely.
So I'm sorry to do this, but
It's okay, no problem.
people have short memories here, and
Yeah,
when you
they
start
do.
loosening these restrictions and what it takes to get a loan, isn't history going to repeat itself?
Yeah, you wonder, are we creating the same problem we had before? I don't think we've gone that far because you don't have the presence of subprime
Right.
mortgage loans,
Right.
and you don't have they call them liar loans, where you didn't verify anything. You had no income,
no
asset, some doc, low doc, some doc, and what I called what's up doc loans.
You got a heartbeat?
Exactly, give them a loan. Fog in a mirror, you get the loan. So that's not happening. So we understand a seller's market. Well, if you go above 6 months of inventory, that's probably a buyer's market, correct?
Yeah, it is, and in some price ranges we still have that. There's just a lot of times properties will be on the market, and let's say it's a specific area where everybody in that area says, hey, my house is worth X, and nobody's willing to drop it to a level where the consumer is actually willing to say, well, I'll pay X
Right.
for it. So that becomes a buyer's market.
So in a buyer's market, the buyer has all the power.
They do.
Or perceive.
If the seller is willing to sell.
Right. So
And historically, prices come down.
So prices come down. There's the ability to negotiate,
Correct.
to get concessions. You
Yeah.
usually do not have multiple offer situations like you
Right.
have in a seller's market.
That's right.
So our belief is that the rapid 6.8% appreciation we've seen in the United States right now is a reality. It's happening, but what's fueling it is not reality. It's the low inventory levels.
That's right. And how do millennials take a part in that?
That's an interesting question. You and I have talked about that a lot. I think I can see it in loan applications and in people that I pre-qualify. Millennials are really, really coming into the market now. I think in some instances, in some cities, they're afraid that if they don't jump, they won't be able to jump because the prices are going to be out of reach.
Right, you and I are both thinking Boston.
Exactly.
Because we know people that have recently gone.
Exactly right. And they've
The
overpaid.
house comes on the market and it's gone.
Right.
So do you overpay?
Yeah, they are overpaying.
Right?
And they're overpaying. One of the things that you say all the time, and I think you're dead on, is that you have to invest 1 to 2% of the value in the house every year to maintain it. And
That's called pride of ownership.
and a lot, yeah, and a lot of the houses that you see that people are overpaying for do not have a pride of ownership. Actually, they're quite dated and they need a lot of work done. So that's kind of scary.
Well, and then they're overpaying for those, so
Right.
they can't be the ones that actually have pride of ownership when they purchase it because they can barely afford the payment.
Well, they can afford the payment, but you
The
know,
upkeep.
but you know, they're so again, we're starting to see more PMI loans. We're starting to see people putting left. They could put 20% down, but
They
they're
don't.
putting 10% down and using the other 10% to fix the house up. And they're having parties where they have their friends come over and to help them paint and whatever. So that's fine.
It's interesting. So you get into that. You see people. Everybody wants to keep up with their friends, keep up with the Joneses, right? So you see these communities where you've got this group of people who have purchased homes and they have great cars outside. So
yeah.
you've got this great house, but you walk inside, there's a card table.
Right.
It's like, how long have you lived here? 3
Right.
years.
Right.
They don't have anybody over.
Right. Well, you're also, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I'm seeing a lot, the return of no interest. You can stretch the payments out over 18 months, or you can that's actually a form of subprime because you can make a minimum payment.
So it is coming back.
Well, it's
in
coming
some
back in
instances.
different areas.
Sure.
The student loan market is a total subprime loan market right now.
So what about your low mortgage rates?
Well, historically, rates are right now a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. It's December 8th. Are right around 3.875% with 0 points, and you can get a jumbo loan, for $1 million to $1.5 million for the same rate.
Right.
So in the same neighborhood, and so that's incredible. And now everybody's saying that the Federal Reserve is going to, it's
I've been hearing
baked
that.
in. Yeah,
I've
but
been
I think
hearing
they
it.
are now. They're going to move. They're probably going to raise the rate a quarter or something, but I don't see that impacting mortgage rates that dramatically yet. So this is still, even though prices have artificially gone up, you can still buy a lot more. If rates go to 6 or 7%,
Right.
look out below
Absolutely.
because that will slow things down.
How about employment?
Today, actually, the jobs report came out today. They were anticipating that the United States economy would add around 198,000
Do you
jobs.
think that's a true reflection of what's happening in this country?
It's hard to say. I think in some ways it is, in some ways it's not. The number actually came out as 228,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate. Remember, a few years ago it was 10%.
Right.
The unemployment
It's an
rate,
improvement.
Sure, it's 4.1%. But what I don't totally believe the unemployment rate, because there are lots of people who've just fallen off the rolls.
Right.
They're
They've
just
given
not
up.
working. They've just given up.
They've just given up.
Or they're working for much less than their education
Oh,
would allow them to make in a different time. So, you have these pillars. You have millennials coming into the market. They're pent up. They're looking to buy a house. They're being very wise, I think, about their decision because they don't want to make they saw the mistakes their parents made.
absolutely.
They're baby boomer parents, and they don't want to make that same mistake. So that's one pillar. The next pillar is really low inventory levels, which are helping to keep in place the other pillar, which is price appreciation. And then you have historically low interest rates and full employment. Those are the 5 pillars. As long as those remain in place, the market will probably be fairly robust. The question is, if we lose one of the pillars, are the other four able to support the structure?
It's a great question.
You know, that's that. I think the question really is, if the inventory level corrects and the price appreciation stops, that might be a problem.
Well, here's the thing. Once these people, they're in their homes, every month they're paying off a little bit more of that principal, and they're getting closer. If they could not pay or move and actually sell their property, they now are getting closer to the point where they can.
Sure.
And so as we see more people capable of selling their properties, inventory is going to rise.
Right.
And as inventory rises, things start to level.
Right. Now, so the question then, but then the question also is that those sellers, are they going to price their property correctly, or are they going to price it at an aspirational price, hoping to really hit a home run?
Depends on where they're located.
Right.
Right. If you've got a lot of comps that have taken place in a short period of time, then yeah, absolutely, they can gauge that. The problem is with those unique properties, those properties that haven't had sales that have taken place in a close proximity.
Right.
What do you do?
Right.
I think we have a solution to that, and we'll be able to help going forward. But if you'd like a list of why now may not be the time to purchase a property, sign up below, and we'd be more than happy to
Send that out.
send that out to you.
Peace out.